Good morning, gang. Happy Tuesday morning. Okay, as we get closer and closer to the end of the month and waiting to see what potentially could happen this weekend, we got some good news yesterday, at least for those of us that want to see peace and quiet. Let's just leave it that way. We're now into the fifth week of the government shutdown. We now are looking at air traffic controllers missing a paycheck today, full paycheck, okay? Military's supposed to get paid on Friday. Of course, that is, or maybe, well, yeah, it'd be Friday either way because of the holiday, or the weekend. We'll see if that donation, $130 million, actually can make it to the military because Congress has to approve that. Okay? Yeah, good luck. And even then, you're talking maybe $100 a piece. I mean, it's not going to be a full paycheck for everybody. Let's put it that way. Hopefully that they'd pay the lower enlisted and, the senior enlisted or the officers who get paid more, they'd be the one missing out. But the privates, the specialists, the corporals, airmen, that sort of stuff, they're the ones that are really living paycheck to paycheck. We'll see. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens because yesterday the AFGE, the American Federation of Government Employees, the union of government employees, 800,000 people strong union, basically came out yesterday and told the Democrats, get your ass in gear and sign a clean CR. Get the government back open. That's pretty important, that group, for the Democrats, because government employees overwhelmingly vote blue. Okay? And when they come out and basically tell the Democrats, we're blaming you, get this moving, ears perk up. Now, Dick Durbin, senator from Illinois, said he takes this very seriously. He's the number 2 in the Senate, okay? But he said it won't change his vote. Of course, it won't change his vote. That's Chuck Schumer's job, to tell everybody what to do, okay? No kings, right? Except Chuck Schumer is king over the 47 senators in the Senate. Whatever he tells them to do, they just bobblehead, okay, Chuck, that's what we'll do, right? So it's getting interesting to see if they do this before Friday, especially with the brouhaha about food stamps, right? Yeah, you got air traffic controllers not getting paid. You got the military not getting paid. You got 800,000 federal government union employees, for the most part, not getting paid. And then you have 35 million freeloaders and 8 million people that are worthy of getting food stamps not getting their food stamps this weekend. Remember, it's also the first of the month. So this is when Section 8 rent checks go out too. Okay. Fortunately, don't let them scare you. No, this does not affect Social Security. Okay. They'll start pushing that this week. Oh, Social Security checks aren't going out. Yes, they are. Don't worry. That is not a discretionary thing. That is automatic. That has nothing to do with the CR. Okay. So for those of you collecting Social Security, don't worry about it. It's coming. At least until they run out of money, which they've been telling us for 30 years they're going to. But the funniest thing about all this is listening to the spin, the attempted spin. And if the AFGE didn't make it obvious that nobody's listening, nobody with 2 active brain cells is listening yesterday, I don't know what is. I get such a kick out of listening to Jasmine Crockett, Hakeem Jeffries, yada, 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 screaming, Trump's holding back your food stamps. The mental midgets out there posting videos online saying that we're going to go rob the stores because Trump ain't giving me my food stamps. Has nothing to do with Trump. Trump's in Asia. I can't believe this where we have this crisis going on. Okay, let me try to explain something to you. Trump doesn't have a vote in the Senate. Okay. And welcome to the world of technology. If you pass something, he could sign it from anywhere in the world. Hell, he could do a Joe Biden and auto pen it if he wanted to. They could do it right there in the White House, right? That's been done a lot for the last 4 years, right? So that's not a big deal. Or Hakeem Jeffries, and all these people. How could we expect to get anything done? Well, the House is on vacation. The House already passed their bill. They got nothing to do with this, okay? You can whine and complain and everything that you want about the House not being in session. The government shut down. Newsflash, okay? You want to complain, go to Chuck Schumer and tell Chuck Schumer, open the damn government so the House can get back in. You want this Arizona representative seated, go to Chuck Schumer and say, get the government open so she can get seated. She's going to be the final signatory to get the Epstein files released. Good. Go tell Chuck Schumer to get the government open. The AFGE, Chuck, get the government open. It's not rocket science, but the media is trying to spin this as Trump's doing it or the Republicans are doing it, and nobody is buying it except for the people that are bobbleheads. Okay? These are the same ones that are going to vote for Zohran Mamdani next week. These are the ones that are going AOC and make a great president. Let's run her in 2028. Okay? The people that are that dense, yeah, they're going to blame Trump no matter what you say. Again, as I said, Trump could say he cured cancer and they'd be going, nope, you know what? I like my cancer. Let me keep my cancer. Right? That'd be it. My bet with the AFG coming out yesterday, we'll see an end to this shutdown this week. I'm gonna guess that one. Don't hold me to it, okay? But that is a nail in the coffin for the Democrat Party. If they start pissing off the Government Employees Union, how many other unions do you think that support Democrats do you think are going, yeah, you know what? We need to help our brothers and sisters in the union, and we're going to support that too. People need to take a step back and realize and learn and educate themselves on civics, on how government works. It's an absolute shame to see these videos, to read these articles, to see lawyers, people that self-identify as lawyers, in their bio, ESQ, Esquire, it's the letters a lawyer will put behind his name, that they're blaming Trump or they're blaming the Republicans. And I'm like, dude, let me remind you of a phrase. Elections have consequences. Remember that famous one out of The Great Black Hope? Okay. Yeah, remember that guy? That was his quote. Newsflash. Last year, you lost the White House. You lost the Senate. You lost the House. Elections have consequences. You're the minority. Means you don't get to set the precedent. You don't control how things happen. You negotiate. This is what they want. You try to find out what you can possibly get, because they're going to tell you otherwise. And that's exactly where we are. It's about time the Democrats get off their fake high horse and realize the people, the country, said, we don't like what you're selling. We picked the other guy. They're trying to do status quo, and you want to change it. No. We'll probably get this cleared out because the Democrats realize they're losing support. And when they lose the unions, they're going to start losing elections. And there's nothing more important to a politician than his reelection. If you think it's his constituents, you're smoking crack. I just hope one thing, that a year from now, the people remember this. I hope that candidates remind people of this. Oh, Mr. Senator, how many times did you vote against opening the government? How many of your constituents didn't get a paycheck, missed a mortgage payment, didn't get their food stamps because you refused to open the government? Are you going to do that again? Because I hate to tell you this, after the election next year, Donald Trump will still be in the White House. So the boogeyman that you want to blame is still going to be there. We're going to start getting into campaign season. And I hope to God that this issue doesn't die. I hope we can get rid of rhinos. I hope we can get rid of leftists. I hope we can get rid of liberals and get this country back. Because if they can't do it, we're going to have to eventually. Pinball out.